Hey folks, it's the Wizard of Wizard-O-Mo Games, and today we are at the Wizard's Table. As promised in my little short video, we are going to play Call to Adventure Epic Origins by Chris and Johnny O'Neill, Brotherwise Games. This is a 1 to 4 player game, takes 30 to 60 minutes. I would be playing solo today, so we are not competing with each other. I'm going to pull this box top back, and this is what we have. In this particular game, there was an original Call to Adventure, and then there was a Call to Adventure, the Stormlight Archive, which was based on a book series by Brandon Sanderson. And then this one is Epic Origins. So I'm going to play through this one. It actually has chapter modes. So I'll be starting with chapter 1. And what this does is adds an adversary that you can play against. Because normally in a competitive mode, you're all building your stories individually. And you're going to look to score points, getting different combinations of story icons and putting them together and tallying up your points and then seeing who comes out the best. You can also play against an adversary, which this came out of chapter 1 as well. And the adversary is going to start with so many points, so many experience tokens on them. And this is basically like its hit points. So when you open this pack, you're going to get the adversary. There should be a new adversary out of each pack. And there are new cards that you can take and shuffle into the decks. So make sure I get everybody out of there. And then once you're done with playing all of the chapters, then all of these cards will be in your deck. And every time you play again, you'll have everything available. Now, you don't have to separate these out by chapters. You can just take them all and shuffle them all into the game and choose an adversary and play. But I thought it might be fun to go through the different chapters because each time you create a character. And unbeknownst to many, these characters you can actually build into, and I'm looking now somewhere along the way, into 5th edition D&D characters. There is actually a place where you can go to brotherwisegames.com, epic-origins-conversion, or you can scan this QR code that they have in the book, and it takes you to a place where you can use the cards that you use to build your story to create a background for your character, and then the statistics that we are collecting through these runes. And by the way, these are special runes that I got off of Etsy that actually are pancaked and have the colors of the runes pancaked in between them, making them easier to identify. You can go to Etsy and find those. But the story and these runes that you get, the runes equate to strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. What does that sound like to you? It's D&D. So depending on what you collect throughout the game, you can take those along with the names of the cards and the chapters that you complete and build and flesh out a character. Now, each chapter of this, it's going to add new cards, but you're going to start fresh, building a new character. So if anyone follows along and wants to, when my story is complete for my character, and if I defeat the adversary or not, you can try to take all of that information and build a character out of it. And each chapter is a new character. So you're going to start fresh each time. So there's the capability of getting 7 different characters out of this game. So I hope somebody does that. I am not a 5th edition guy. Yes, you've seen me. I'm an older guy. I still play 3rd edition D&D. But for 5th edition people, I would love to see what character you create and develop out of the information that you are going to get from me today during this playthrough. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got the rule book here because I'm going to go through on how you set this up. But first I'm just going to grab up these chapter cards, these envelopes here. I'm going to set them aside and I'm going to show you how this thing works. So over here on the right we have runes, and these will be cast to get results because you're going to have tests against some of these cards. You will always get 3 basic runes that you can deal with, and a slash is a success, a blank is a failure, and then this one does several different things. It's going to allow you to draw a hero or an anti-hero card, and those cards will go to your hand and you can play them at any time to help achieve a success or to gain some experience or do some different things. And we'll go through the setup on how this works, but as you build your your stats and your attributes, you're going to be able to cast so many runes of that particular type and color. Like the strength itself has a sword on it. And over here, the dexterity has like a little arrowhead. That fits. The constitution has this U, like a shield on it. Okay. The intelligence, what's it equate to? Those are little wands, like magic tokens. Then we have wisdom, and it looks like an eye. And then you have the charisma, which has this little M-looking character on it. So we'll build our story, but fortunately we are able to look ahead and see our adversary over here. We have the reign of the adversary card, which is going to tell you what happens with the adversary as the game progresses. There's going to start with 5 of these experience tokens for each player in the game, and then this is the adversary that we have to face after the second chapter. With these chapters, we have chapter 1 cards, chapter 2, and chapter 3 cards. And I'll go with the setup of the character here in a second, but after the second chapter, when we have 3 cards attached to this one, we will have to battle against this first adversary, the Dark Lord's Consort. And there are 6 health on it, or 6 success points to defeat it, along with all of these additional points. So certain things in the game will add more of these to it, making the adversary stronger, and then other things in the game will allow you to remove some of those off of the adversary, making it weaker as you go. So in this situation, this particular Dark Lord's Consort is going to require Constitution and Charisma in order to defeat. And after the second, of course, you have to get 6 successes, and then as many excess that you have will pull some of these off, because those are going to be added to, when you flip this over, the actual final adversary, who has 8 for success and uses the same 2 skills of Constitution and Charisma. So this first character I'm going to build and try to build up Constitution and Charisma. Now, you need to know that the actual, you are only allowed to have 3 runes of each kind. So when you get your first rune, you will have one that will roll a single success and a double success. Your second rune is the same way, but if you ever achieve the 3rd rune, you get a special rune. And that special rune will still count as 2 successes on one side, but on the other side, it's going to give you different things depending on which rune it is. I have to look and see what those are, but I think you gain experience on this one. This one is going to allow you to draw a hero card. This one does the same thing for a hero card. So there's different ones, and that 3rd rune, this is an anti-hero card. So depending on when you get to the 3rd one on each one, there will be different things you can draw. Some of those results, like this one, these are dark runes. And when you roll the moon, it's worth 2 successes. When you roll the slash, it's worth 1. But whenever you roll the moon, you're going to gain corruption. And that's going to move you down this track and then limit the types of cards that you can use and play or gain. Then, you become corrupt. On the other side, the light side, which you won't get it if you don't roll this, then you could push up and gain extra points at the end of the game. If you become totally corrupt, you'll get -4 points at the end of the game and can only use anti-hero cards. So you're going to start off sort of balanced right here, and you can still get the same amount of points, but once you move up to this point, you're only going to get to use hero cards, and down here you're only going to get to use anti-hero cards. So keeping it in the middle has a lesser point payout, but the ability to use both of those cards is pretty awesome. So that's some sort of balance you have to go through. You can spend an experience point to add one of these to your roll. So along with your 3 basic, you're like, man, it's really going to be tough to succeed on this roll. I need a 4, there's only 3 here. You could spend an experience point to roll one of these and hopefully get what you need, a 4 or a 5 to succeed. But again, if you roll the corruption, you're going to actually move down that track. Better chances of succeeding, but it's a risk that you take. So the adversary here has a few things. When any hero fails a non-adversary challenge, these will all be challenges, and you'll have choices to do the top half of the card or the bottom half of the card. Some of them will be traits that you just gain immediately, and these will all develop your character. And that's all this is. You are creating a character based upon the choices, and you're going to have you're going to deal with a heritage. And then you're going to have an origin, a class, and a destiny. So from what I understand, the first 2 here is basically the backstory of your character. The class is how you became what you are. And then your destiny is your future, the outlook for your future. But I am jumping around. Back over here, whenever your hero fails a challenge, it's going to make the adversary stronger. You're going to throw more tokens on there. Whenever you roll the little black and white card option, you're going to play a card from the adversary's deck. And this is a deck of cards that are going to make things tougher for you. Say, this attempt, you get -1 to it, or you can't use your class skill this turn, and it's just going to mess you up in certain ways. And this says when you face the adversary for each successful point above their difficulty level, you'll remove one of these from it. So you're going to try to wound them and take them down a bit so that when it comes time for the big boss, he doesn't have so much. Whenever you gain a dark rune, you're going to put another counter on him. But whenever you gain light, you're going to take 1 off. And you gain +2 to attempt this if you have at least 2 trait cards. Well, traits will come out, but they're not going to give you more runes. They're just going to, well, maybe they will. We'll see. We'll go through it. All right. So this is the adversary that came out of this pack. It is the Dark Lord's Consort and then the Dark Lord. And this is the card that basically describes how things work with it. Let me see if this is 2-sided as well. It is. Okay, so there is a basic adversary quest, and then there's advanced adversary quest. So you could play this again. The character's going to come out completely different, and if you're thinking it's too easy, which it's not going to be, then you can turn over and play advanced rules. So that's pretty cool. This card just assists the adversary, the quest. So as they've developed this game, they've added more things to it that you can do, making it less of the let's just all sit here and build a character. Let's sit here and build a character and compete, and let's sit here and build a character and fight this adversary. Now there is a point system where you can gain points, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have a hard enough time taking out the adversary and working on getting my constitution and charisma built up so I can fight him. In the first round of play, well, let's just, I want to set this aside. I think I remember how this works. If I need it, I'll grab it. It's sitting over there. All right, so first thing we're going to do, and I am not going to pick this, you will decide your heritage. This has been added. This is not available in the first two. There was no heritage cards. So we're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to just do this. I'm going to randomly pick one. I'm going to stick it out here. What have we got? 3, 6, 9, 11 different heritages to choose from. What do we want here today? I could roll some dice, but let's just grab this one right here. It's all shuffled up. And these will just get removed from play. I'm going to stick them over there. So what do we have? We have a construct. So it looks like I am building a construct character. And you, in turn, are building a construct character for 5th edition. Because you're going to follow along, and I'm going to see what kind of characters you guys build out of this. So this says whenever I roll or toss this rune and get the little hero, anti-hero, I could gain a hero card or an anti-hero card. And this won't matter where I am on this corruption track here. So that's good. Or I can pay 1 experience to add 1 relevant ability rune to this challenge. So when I have a challenge, it's going to list what runes you can throw. And this one's going to allow me to add 1 to it if I spend some experience points. That's pretty cool, especially if I, early on when I haven't built up anything. So that's inherent and going to be there. That's what I get. It's my construct special ability. I like it. So we move over to this one. So that's my heritage. Now we have my origins. What was I? Before I became this hero. I'm actually not quite this hero yet. What am I building upon? So in this one, you're actually going to get 2. Look at this. Look at these. These were cards that were in the pack. This is the Chapter 1 card. It tells you what's going on. It gives you another adversary card, and it tells you shuffle it into his deck. Let's do it. We're going to go ahead and shuffle that into his deck. All right. Then we're getting another Chapter 1 origin card. This is the Villager. So we now have the Villager as an option of our origin. Now you're just, even though these chapter cards come in these packs, they're getting shuffled into the deck. You're not just taking it and playing it as part of the chapter. It just gets shuffled in with everything else. So look at this, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Probably more in those chapter packs. So that's a lot of replayability and a lot of character creation going on. So with this one, you get 2. So let's just dig something out of here. Here's one. And let's take this one. And then these are pulled out of the game. I don't need them anymore. So I'm going to get a choice. Oh, look at this. A pirate or a mercenary. Look at that. So if I'm a construct, would you want to be a construct pirate? I probably wouldn't want to be. I'd be afraid of sinking to the bottom of the ocean. But if I'm a construct, maybe I can breathe underwater. Okay. Or the mercenary. So what this origins card is going to do, there are these little symbols up here on the left. The pirate has strength and intelligence, whereas the mercenary has dexterity and strength. So those are going to be some of the starting runes that I have, which will help me complete some of these tests that I'm going to come up against. But unfortunately, neither one of them is Constitution or Charisma. So, I think it'd be really fun to play a construct pirate. So I'm going to go ahead and take this mercenary and just let him go. Now, what you have with these guys, this one says at least one of my runes, if at least one of my runes show a result of sword or wand during a challenge, I get to gain an anti-hero card. Okay, that's cool. So whenever I'm doing any of these, I can get an anti-hero card. Those can help me complete missions. And his special said you begin the game with an extra anti-hero card. You can play hero or anti-hero cards regardless of your position on the corruption track. Wow. It almost wants me to go into a construct mercenary, but hey, I'm digging the pirate, so maybe next time we'll look at this guy. Looks like things would be a little bit simpler with him. I'm a veteran gamer. Let's go the hard route. All right. So, I'm going to take this guy and put him up here. Now, we're also going to get 2 of these cards. These cards are our class. So, I am a construct pirate, and I'm going to have a class that I use. So, let's go ahead and shuffle these up. This one, I'll get 2 to choose from. And I'll pick one. And the rest of these are going to get out of the game. All right, so I'm putting them up. Let's see what I get a choice of. All right, you see it, wizard. I am the wizard. We're going to put that aside. I'm not going to be a construct pirate wizard. I'm just getting rid of it. And what do we got? A rogue. Okay, a second favorite. Let's do that. Rogue works well with pirate. Construct, I don't know. We're going to make this happen. So, all of you pirate rogue constructs out there, start working on your character. So this tells me that when it comes time to using runes, I'll have an available pool of runes where I will have not that one, that's the special one. I will have access to a sword, and I will have access to a wand. Now I'll only be able to roll these, again I keep getting the wrong one, if they are required. So I'm going to set this here, plus I have the basic ones. So these are the ones I'll have access to. I cannot roll these unless this icon is on these story cards. Now this last one, this is my destiny. What is my destiny? As a pirate rogue construct, what is my destiny? Well, let's see what happens. I think I get to draw 2 of these. Now, normally, in a multiplayer game, this would be, I could look at it, and it would be placed face down, because it's going to have some end-game goals for me, and if I achieve them, I'm going to get bonus points against whoever I'm playing against. But since I'm playing solo, I don't care if the adversary sees what it is. So, I have a choice between a tragic hero. At the end of the game, I lose a victory point for each light path in my story. Gain 1 for each constitution in my story. Okay, so this is for points. I'm not worried about it. It's worth 7 points, and if I achieve it, great. And let's go look at this one. The Wise Master. And it has a little icon on the top, little scales. Those are the story icons, and there's a set collection for those. So in your build, if you have 2 story icons, you get so many points. If you have 3 of the same kind, you get so many points, and you try to combine those for extra points, again, competing to see who wins. These are just in-game points. I'm not worried about it. Let's be a tragic hero. I am the construct pirate. I am a rogue, but in the end, I will not be a wise master. All right. So this is what I'm building upon. So we will start with a chapter. Now this tells me whether you succeed or fail, move on to the next envelope, next chapter, Beast of Legend, which is chapter 2. And we would start fresh with a new character, but we would take those cards, shuffle them into the decks, and start from the beginning again. The new card has been in there. There's my adversary. It's 5 per player. So we're going to set this aside. This is the Chapter 1, Darkness Falls. So let's set that right there. All right, so with these chapter cards, we're going to go ahead and take Chapter 1, and we're going to shuffle it up real well. And these are going to be my options of things that I can do to build my character up. Let's just shuffle it real good. And in a single to 3 player game, I believe there will be 4 of these stories face up. And in a 4 player game, there'll be 5. So we'll just start, and we have this, 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 and this. Look at these. I don't see any trait cards out there. So these will replenish, but we are going to just start. I'm just going to set these here, and we'll toss those here in a minute. So what I have is a set of cards up here. I will be at the Military Institute, and it takes 3 successes to achieve this. I will have to use magic, intelligence, and or strength. So those are the only runes that I could cast. And at the Military Institute, if I choose the top path, I train as an officer. And if I succeed with the 3 points, then I gain another access to another intelligence token, another wand. But I could choose to increase this by 1 point difficulty to become a mercenary. And I did toss the mercenary. But if I did, I would gain a victory point, and I would gain a sword. Well, this does not look like the path that I want to go on in order to face this adversary. So we'll move over to this one. At the City Lord's Prison, I can outwit my captors, or I can serve my time. Okay, it would give me a story icon in this. Well, what would happen if I rolled runes, and in this case, this one would allow for magic runes and basic runes, and I could choose a dark. I would need a success of 3. I roll, I count my hex. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a success. So if I succeeded, I would take this card, and I would place it underneath my card. I am a construct pirate that outwitted my captors. Now I have access to another wand the next time I roll. All right. If I failed and had no cards, which I'm actually going to start with a hero card as well in my hand. And this one, choose a hero attempting a challenge, and for every hero or anti-hero card that has been played this turn, you get +1 to your attempt. So I would play this, and these get tucked away for experience points as well. So I'm going to keep my hand, up here somewhere where we can see them. Actually, I was going to do it over here. My hand is right there for now. We'll figure out a way to do it. But that's how that works. And once you get 3 on this, you have completed the first chapter. You're going to burn all these cards. You're going to go to Chapter 2 and then start putting them under your rogue. And then you're going to go to Chapter 3 and put them under your destiny. Now, after you finish the 3rd card in your 2nd chapter, you have to face the Dark Lord's Consort. And you're going to use everything that you've gotten thus far to try to hit him for at least 6 to succeed, and anything additional will pull these off of him. Then you're going to flip him over, and then at the end of the 3rd chapter, once you have 3 cards there, so you're only going to get 9 total cards out of this row, you're going to attempt to fight the big dog and move on. But according to this, you're going to move on regardless of whether you fail or not. At that point, we're going to have a full story of a hero. So that's pretty much how it works. So I get a chance to look at all of these and take them. Now, if I see them, and I'm only supposed to have 4, so we'll go ahead and put this train of the officer back in here, See that? I already messed up. I already pulled too many out. I should only have 4. All right. So I get to look at these. Now, a trait card has not come up. So I can go find one. Here's a trait card. If this had come out, it's a trait. It's called Lowborn. You can just take that card and attach it. I could be a Lowborn Pirate Construct Rogue. I would gain a story card of Justice and 2 points at the end of the game. When you gain this card, gain an experience token, and when you discard a hero card, give yourself 2 experience tokens. That's what that looks like. It's just something that comes in. It's going to give you icons to help you at the end of the game. I'm going to go ahead and bury that. Now, during your turn, you can always spend an experience token to burn one of these cards, discard it, and replace it. And that is, all these cards are dead. What can I do? I can spend an experience point, and I can go ahead and change that. So that's what I got. Now, I read you the pirate. On the rogue, this allows you to put your experience points on them to give you bonuses. So if I have 2 on here, I get +1 to my dexterity attempt paths, and these are paths that we are choosing. If I have 4, and at any time I can put them on there, I would get +1 attempt to my intelligence paths. So I would have the dexterity paths and intelligence paths. Both of them would be active. And then if I put 6 on there, whenever I add this, the mask, the theatrical mask, Sinister, to my story, I would gain an anti-hero card. Now these cards are very useful because they're going to help you do things throughout the thing. So I have got this set up. I'm going to go ahead and look real quick. There we go. We get 1 hero card and we get 3 experience tokens to start with. That's what I was looking at. So we should be good. I'm going to go ahead and we'll just leave these. We know the pool that I have. We have this. And sure enough room to roll up there and everybody still see what's going on. Yeah. So now I have my cards in hand. I have not played these. Once I play them, I'll tuck them underneath here sideways showing the points, but I'm not looking for the points. So here we go. I am a fresh hero, and let's see what's going to make me. So I'm trying to gain charisma and constitution, and I'm looking here, and this is sort of the min-maxing part of it. You're going to have to fight this guy, so I'm developing this character in order to be able to do so. So I see here, if I go the hard way, I could probably get some constitution. Here, the softer route will give me some constitution. Here, I could get some charisma. And over here, I'm looking at dex and strength. So let's look at this. This is the mysterious cave. And if I get 3 successes using swords and or constitution, which I do have a sword, I would be the party's only survivor, and I would gain a constitution, access to a constitution. So I could use the strength that I currently have to put me there. That looks interesting. Over here, I can only use charisma and dexterity, and I have neither of those, so the chance of succeeding of the Merchant Bazaar to join the Merchant Guild doesn't look inviting. I think this is what I'm going to do. We're going to a mysterious cave. So this is a guy we're choosing. I'm going to be able to throw sword icons and the basic icons, and I need 3 successes. I do have this. After attempting a challenge for every card that has been played this turn, you get +1 to the attempt, and that does include this. So I will hold that just in case I need it. We're going to go ahead and toss these runes, and what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3 slashes, and a blank. So I have 3 successes. Those 3 successes are enough on this card for me to be the party's only survivor, and I did not have to use my card in hand. So as the party's only survivor, I slide this under here, and I gain access to a Constitution rune. So we will pull all of these guys back, and we have not triggered any of these. I did not fail a challenge, and I did not roll the fate symbol. I did not gain any light. I did not gain any moon, and I do not have 2 traits. All right, so that was the first one. And now this is going to go a lot faster. Now we get to refill with one of these. Boom. Now this one looks cool. This is a potion seller. I could haggle with a merchant, which will give me access to charisma, which is one of the runes I need to fight the boss. But I could also, for one additional difficulty, buy strong potions. And if I succeed, I'll get another Constitution, and I'll get an anti-hero card, which currently I can play both of them. This is good. I know that there's access to a Constitution up here, and I know that there is access to, a charisma here and a Constitution down there. So, and this one requires either one of those. So let's go ahead and haggle with the merchant and see if we can't get the charisma, which will help me succeed in this one. Yeah, we'll see how that works. Let's do that. We're going to do the easier of it. We're going to take our Constitution and our 3 regular guys here, and we're going to haggle with a merchant, the potion seller. Let's see if we can't achieve this. And I've got a rune standing on end, but it does not look as if I am going to succeed. But wait, there's more. Boom. So rolling this is a success, or it's not a success, it's 2. So it is 2 points towards success. Rolling the slash is 1. Well, with this 2 points, I am shy. But I also rolled this. So there are a couple things that are going to trigger with this. When I do this, I can gain a hero or anti-hero card. So I'm going to go ahead and gain a hero card because my construct says I can do that. Over here, nothing. Over here, when I roll this, I play a card from the adversary deck. So I'm going to go ahead and see what happens before I start spinning these cards and doing things. The adversary says, reveal this as a hero attempts a challenge, add a dark rune to the attempt. So that means I'm going to roll this in there. It might help me, but I also might gain darkness. So we will see, only if I roll the moon, but it also might help me. So I'm going to go ahead and roll him, and look at that. That is a success, and because it wasn't the moon, I did not go down, which means I'm not going to add more stuff to this guy. So that was a Dark Lord's Call. Thank you, kind sir. You helped me. I'm not even going to have to spend any of my cards. I have 3 successes, and with those 3 successes, I have got to haggle with a merchant, and this is going to give me access to a charisma. Yeah, that works. Haggling, charisma, works well. We're going to go ahead and put that there. So look at me. I am already working on 4 of the 6 attributes. I have strength, I have constitution, I have intelligence, and I have charisma. What a rounded character. But we want to put him a little bit higher in constitution and charisma. So I only have 1 more card before I go to chapter 2. Let's flip this. Look at that. When this is the Village Tavern, I could win a drinking contest to gain some more constitution, or I could increase the difficulty by 1 to embark on a quest, which will give me a victory point and a dexterity. Well, you know, I mean, what am I looking at now? I need Constitution or Dex to play this game. Let's go ahead and use my Constitution. Let's win a drinking contest. I'm a pirate. I'm the only survivor. I haggled with a merchant. Do I want to join a merchant's guild? No. I want to win a drinking contest. So I'm going to go ahead and roll these 3 and this, and we'll see what we get. The results. Boom. All right. So I have enough to succeed, but we have rolled the Fate token again. And when I do it, I get to choose a card to gain. Well, let's go ahead and take a dark card and see what it looks like. Choose a hero attempting a challenge. For each charisma in their story, they gain +1 to their attempt. That's cool if I needed to play the Eldritch Blast. This one, for every card that's been played, they gain +1. And this one is if you're attempting Strength, Intelligence, or Wisdom. If it's your turn, gain 1 to your attempt, and if it's another hero's turn, they gain +2. This is part of the cooperative mode, but you can still use them for yourself. But I'm not attempting that. So teamwork is not even something I'm looking to play right now. Over here on this, I'm playing a card from the adversary deck. So here's the second one, Booby Trap. Reveal this as a hero attempts a challenge. It has +2 to its difficulty unless any hero discards a hero or anti-hero card. So the difficulty would increase to 5. No, let's get rid of this teamwork card. That is a hero card. We're going to go ahead and discard this card, and so it's not going to increase that. I'm just going to stick it over here for right now. So actually, we've been discarding up here. Let's go ahead and discard that card. There. So now my difficulty is still at 3, which I have succeeded. So I'm going to pull these guys back. I'm going to pull my basic stuff back. I'm going to pull this as Fate has thrown a little bit of a twist into things. But guess what? I did win a drinking contest. So I've done the easier path on each of these, but look what I have gained in my icons here. I have Constitution, Charisma, Constitution, Strength, and Intelligence. So this means I have an access to the second Constitution rune. This ends my first chapter. Wow, that's how fast it can go. So we'll go ahead and take all of these. We're going to clear this. Now in a multiplayer game, you would continue to refill and continue to play until everybody had got their third, because you can fail on some of these and be behind. And if somebody gains access to 2, you would be able to work and get level 2 access cards if it was your turn and you still hadn't completed stuff. So I have taken these. These are level 1s. Let's drop them off the game. Let's take level 2s and let's shuffle them up real good. And so this is our origin. Pirate construct. I won a drinking contest, then I haggled with the merchant, and I was the party's only survivor when we went into a cave. Wow, that's a strong character, but we're just a third of the way through it. So on story level 2, we're going to pop a few more of these out. They're going to become a bit more difficult. And we are using 4 cards. So what we have across the board here is a trait, a folk hero. It gives me a story marker. And it's just straight out Constitution, which would give me my third token, and I couldn't go any higher in it. I could have more icons, but I'll be throwing only the maximum of 3 runes. When I gain this, I would also gain a light, which would move me up here, but it puts me out of using dark cards. But if I gain light, the hero's going to lose a hit point. So I have to decide what to do. Here's another one, an oracle. When you gain this, you're going to gain a story marker, and you're going to gain a wisdom rune. And when you gain this, choose one. All players gain light, or all players gain dark. I'm calling them light and dark. I'm sure the game has them something else, called something else. This one is difficult. It takes a sword and or magic. Now, if you have runes that match both icons, you get to roll all of them of that type. Now, this one is a sword and a magic. It's at 5 difficulty. You would get a hero card, a story marker, at the Count's Castle to slay a vampire, and for 1 more difficulty, become a vampire. I'm not interested in that. I'm a construct. I'm not going to be a vampire. And then over here we have the Rival Adventurers. Oh, that's always fun. A 4 difficulty. I would gain myself an anti-hero card and a strength or a sword, but for 1 more difficulty I could recruit new allies, and I would gain a hero card, a royal icon for story, and I would gain another charisma. So I have to choose what I want to do. You know what? Easy enough to gain this. I'm going to go ahead and grab the folk hero. I am a rogue folk hero. I get a story icon, which I really don't care. It looks like I've gone with the upper path on each of these, but this is going to unlock this special 5th rune. So this is cool because when I roll it, I would get 2 successes on this side, and if I roll this side, I gain an experience point. So it's one of those, it really doesn't have a bad side, but if you're using it and trying to succeed and miss out on those 2 and just get an experience point, but a lot of these will allow you to spend experience points to do things. So I am a folk hero rogue, and look at that, my constitution is just crazy good. Let's reveal another card. Oh, look at this. This is another trait. It's filthy rich. You would gain a royalty icon, and you would gain 2 victory points. When you gain this, gain 1 experience for each royal icon in your story, or take 2 from the adversary. Well, that's cool. I don't need it. I'm not looking at points. I'm not looking at icons. I'm looking at what I need to do to take this guy down. So I'm not looking at that or this. This doesn't have what I need, and this looks fairly difficult. I might have to work towards the dark side. I could always get out of it if I had to. So let's look at this Rival Adventurers, or I could spend an experience point and you know, I like this construct. I could pay 1 to add 1 relevant ability rune to this challenge, and I still could get +1 on the 10th. Let's go for it. Let's go ahead, and the Rival Adventurers, let's use them to recruit new allies. So I can use my charisma. Look at this. I could use my sword as well. I can use both of them. And I can use the 3 that I get normally. And I don't even think I want to go for a dark rune. It's going to be 4 + 1 because this is a more difficult path at a chance to get that charisma. But it's going to give me a royal icon, which would give me more experience as well. So you see how these things can combo together for really interesting things. So we're going to try to recruit allies from the rival adventure party. I've got some backup with some meta magic, and I'll see if I succeed, and then I could pay one of these to add another relevant rune to the challenge. So let's see. Boom. All right, I am standing up again. I've got standing runes. And let's see what we got. I got a success here. So this is going to be 2 successes. This is 2 successes. 6 total successes. I had a 4 plus 1 is a 5. I don't need to spend for anything extra. I don't need to play a card. Look at that. I have recruited new allies. And this one, because I took the lower path, is going to tuck under and stick out of the bottom. And now I have one of these icons, the royalty. I get another hero card, Channel Divinity. Choose a hero attempting a wisdom. They gain +1 to their attempt. Okay, not something I need, but I could discard it if I needed to. And this is the most important part. Another charisma token. So I am almost loaded for bear when it comes to the adversary. I am looking pretty good. Now normally what you would do, I'm playing solo, I'm putting all of these over here on this left left side, so I know which ones I have access to. Normally you'd put them back into the container, and each player on their turn would just pull the ones out that they need, and when they were done they'd put them back in there. I actually have a second set of these, the ones that came with the game. It's also a set in the Stormlight Archive, but again, these are the ones I got from Etsy, and I will try to sort of show you on the edges of these. This thing is pancaked in there, and you can see they pancake the color of the rune in between, and then it shines through the cutout. So it's pretty cool. You got to bling out your game, right? Actually, I needed it because it made it easier to see, so shut up. All right. So here we go. I'm setting on. So the strength and this intelligence that I got early on, it's like, yeah, that's not going to get me what I need for the adversary. It has actually come into play and helped me on some of these challenges because I was able to add them in and mix and match them in there. You know, you get a set of 2 and you could use all of them that you have regardless of which path you choose. So now we have 2 out of the 3 on this. So I'm going to refill. Looks like another trait card. So I'm sitting on 3 traits and then 1 challenge, which really doesn't give me anything I need towards the adversary. So what do I want to do? This is a freedom fighter. When I gain this, gain 2 light and choose another one to gain light. Well, look at this. He's going to lose 2 points if I gain 2 light. It's going to put me up here for 8 points, and all I can use is light cards, not dark cards. Okay. On this one, when you gain this, gain 1 for each crown if you wanted to experience, which I haven't had to burn any yet. It's just points at the end of the game. But if you take this, you also get to take 2 from the adversary. And it still leaves me in the middle here. I'm not worried about the points, but I get access to both dark and light cards. I think I like that better, as having the ability to use anything I have. Because this is a charisma based and it's dark and I want it. This is okay. This I could probably ditch, but that's fine. So gaining that second trait is also going to give me +2 on the attempt against this Dark Lord consort. So I'm a folk hero that recruited new allies. I am a rogue, and guess what? I'm also filthy rich. That's awesome. Well, no wonder I'm a folk hero. No wonder I was able to recruit new allies. I'm filthy rich. I'm a rogue that has made my name. Folks, are you taking notes here for your character creation in 5e, 5th edition? Get this down. See what you're looking at. Looking at 3 constitution, 1 strength, 1 intelligence, 2 charisma. It's looking pretty good. You got a couple of royal icons there. It looks good. Now we have ended chapter 2. Because of that, immediately somebody pokes up their head. It is the Dark Lord's consort. Oh, when I gained that, I did take 2 of his health away. They lost 2 health. So chapter 2 is done. I'm going to bring this guy out. Hey, we notice you're making a name for yourself. Filthy rich you think you are. Okay, let's see what I can do. I need to fight this Dark Lord's consort, and I can use Constitution, I can use Charisma, and I always get my 3 basic runes. I need a success of 6, but for each point above that, I get to remove some of this excess health on the adversary that's coming up next. Let's roll them all, baby. And I don't need dark runes. Who needs that? I got everything I need right here. But I could change some of my luck here if I needed to. Boom. All right. So we've got a few things going on. I can't see everything, but you're going to see it right now. There it is. We have 2, 4. That's an experience. 5, 6, 7, 8. And that. So what does that do for me? I could gain a card of my choice. I'd really like to wipe out that last token on there. Or I can add 1 relevant rune to this challenge. How about that? Let's go ahead and spend 1 of my experiences that I gained, and let's add the last charisma rune. Okay, well, let's see. That was for that. Over here, play a card from the adversary deck. The card says, reveal this as a hero attempts a challenge. It has +1 difficulty. It's a wandering monster. It looks like a gelatinous cube. So I am at a 7 difficulty, and I have rolled 2, 4, 6, 8, which means I'm only going to pull 1 of those. This I already spent, and that's what gave me the additional experience. This allows me to draw an anti-hero card. Thieves' Tools. Play this as any hero attempts a dexterity or a mask path, add +2 to the attempt. I don't want that. I don't want that. Look at this. I'm going to play the Eldritch Blast. Choose a hero attempting a charisma challenge. For each charisma in their story, they gain +1 to their attempt. Well, this is my story. I have 1, I have 2. So I get +2 to my attempt. So let's look at it again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 total. This actually increased by 1 to 7, 8, 9, 10. I have defeated this guy. I get a light card for doing that, which is the hero card. That is pretty cool. And what did I... Oh, the Eldritch Blast. Because I actually played this and used it, I get to tuck it under my board here and expose that point. That's points towards the end of the game. And that's when you're playing competitively, but I did use an Eldritch Blast, and it helped me. The Wandering Monster goes away, and I get to pull back all of these runes that I used, but I do know that the Charisma extra one is not part of my tableau. So I have defeated the Dark Lord Consort. Well, he's going to run back and cry to Big Daddy. And now, at the end of my 3rd chapter, I will have to fight the Dark Lord himself. He will be my final adversary. He says when a hero gains dark, he gets +1 health. If I roll the fate icon, I must gain a dark rune and get -1 to my attempt, or get -1 to my attempt. And whenever I gain light, he loses a health. Well, currently, he's sitting at an 8. He has no bonus anything. So we're going to move him over here. He's going to wait in the shadows. The other one's crying to him, says, I need you to go take out this character. And he says, what? You got your butt whipped by a first level adventurer? No way. I'm going to go check this out. So he's on his way here. Meanwhile, I'm working on the third part of my story, and I've got to train up before he gets here. So these are hero cards. And this is my anti-hero card. And that might change if I start to gain corruption, or I know there's a name for it. What is it? Or light. Divinity, maybe? Corruption or divinity. Let's call it that. All right. Chapter 3. Let's pull them. Boom. This is Gates of the Abyss. Return from death or save an innocent. This is Coronation. Rule with an iron fist or rule wisely. This is Doomsday Device. I can craft a super weapon, or I can prevent calamity. And here we have Winter's Heart. It could be endless winter, or I could restore summer. So looking at the icons necessary, I know I'm maxed on Constitution. This one's a Constitution. This one's a Constitution. The bottom of this is, I'm looking at Wisdom. Not really something I need to do. I don't care about either one of those. This one really doesn't matter. But look at this. The bottom half of this. Gates of the Abyss. Does that sound like something a tragic hero would be working on? See, I haven't put anything on my rogue because none of these really will affect anything, so I'm not spending these experience. I'm saving them for this to add runes. And I should have been gaining dark cards whenever I rolled swords. So there's a few things to look at. Be sure to keep up with that, because I sure don't. So this would take 8 for me to go to the Gates of the Abyss and save an innocent. And it would give me my last one of these that I would need to fight against the big guy. Boy, what a choice. Or do I spend one of these and maybe burn a card and find something that might be something? I mean, look at these. 7, 6, 6, 7, +1 at the bottoms. This would be 8. So they do have this handy dandy chart here for those of you that are all about the odds. And it tells the rune probability. Hey, how does that work? So if you are rolling a certain number of icons or dice, it tells you what your average is and what your maximum is. So some things, like what am I looking at? I'm looking to get an 8. To get an 8, I would have to be rolling 5 runes, or ability runes, 5 dark or ability runes plus, wow, average is 9. I'd have to have a lot. I do. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To get 8 successes, I could add dark runes. I got enough to change things around. Let's just see what we can do. Let's go ahead and put this up. There may be some other challenges we want to do. Maybe to get some cards. Hey, you know, if I fail, it's tragic. I am a tragic hero. So let's Look at this. Gain 1 victory points for each of these in your story. Nice. Let's go for this. Let's save an innocent. What has happened? A construct who haggled and drank and as a pirate became a folk hero, recruited new allies, became filthy rich, and now he is going to attempt to save an innocent from the gates of the abyss. Let's pull it up. We got 3 constitutions, 2 charismas, 3 basics, a couple of cards to help me out, adding runes, gaining cards. Let's see what happens. I'm attempting the bottom half to save an innocent and get that 3rd charisma before I face the Dark Lord. And the results are, well, you can see them. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, fate, a blank, and an experience. So there's enough there, but what is this fate going to do for me? If I do that, I can gain a light or a dark card. Let's go ahead and gain a dark, just to see. This one is Intense Effort. Play this as a hero attempts a challenge. After the runes have been cast, choose 1 Dexterity, Constitution, or Charisma room and flip it over. Wow. I could flip that over, not take this, and flip that over. It's going to give me even more, but there are nothing on this. All right, so I've used that here. I'm coming over here, play a card from the adversary deck, and you must gain this or get -1 to my attempt. I'll do -1 to the attempt. I'll play this Intense Effort, and I will flip this over. So that means I'm going to lose this experience point. That's fine. That is fine. So I'm looking at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, -1. And now we're going to play an adversary card that says, reveal this as a hero attempts a challenge. Ignore that hero's class powers until end of turn. Well, guess what? I'm not using any class powers, so you can take that overwhelming odds and put it over there. This is a success, folks. I have succeeded. He did not gain any life. I did not fail. I did not, or get -1. I took the -1. And here we go. This goes to the bottom. I have saved an innocent, and I have now added the final charisma rune to my tableau of runes. We are getting close. So let's refill this and see what else there is. Eldritch Knight. When you gain this, if you've played at least 2 light cards this game, gain 2 experience. You may return a light, I say light, hero card you have played to your hand. Are these? I think these are not. These are anti-hero cards. But because I have everything I need so far, let's not risk defeat. Let's become an Eldritch Knight. Look at this. It's going to give me another sword rune and another. These are both the wrong ones. Another sword rune and another intelligence. So a strength and an intelligence. Wow. An Eldritch Knight. Under we go. And let's reveal this. We're coming up on the 3rd one. Oh, City in the Sky. Study a power source or capture a gem. Wow. These are all interesting. Doomsday Device. Craft a super weapon. Does that sound like an Eldritch Knight who saved an innocent? It does not. Endless Winter. You know, we could try to restore summer, but it's very difficult. Almost impossible. Almost impossible. That's possible. Do we want to study the power source, or do we want to capture a gen? Let's capture a gen. Look at this. I get to use 3 Constitution. I get to use 2 Intelligence. And I get to use these. And I only need a 7 to succeed. Let's do it. I have dropped a rune. Give me a second. There it is. And now we shall cast these from a distance. And we got one standing up. Let's try to get it in there. Okay. So let's take a look. That's what we have. We have 2 successes on con, 2 successes on con. We have 2 successes on intelligence. Looks like the fate token is coming to see us. And a success, and a success, and a success, and possibly an experience point. Well, let's go ahead and look through this first. Gain a light or a dark card. Whew, let's gain a light card. What the hell? Leap of Faith. Choose a hero attempting a challenge. They gain +1 to attempt a special type of path, or +2 to attempt a different special. These are both story. Now this is a light path and this is a story path. So we'll just stick it up here. Right now we've used that ability. Let's move it over here. This one says you must gain a dark rune or get -1 to my attempt. I needed 7. I've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know, I think I'll just take -1 to my attempt. So I have 8, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 8. And here, play a card from the adversary deck. Boom. Cursed Treasure. Reveal this as a hero attempts a challenge. They may gain a dark rune to draw a hero or anti-hero card. No, we will not do that. It is done. We have captured a gen. Now, the gen gives us some victory points. It gives us a dark card. Let's go ahead and grab that. We'll use that. Rage. Choose a hero attempting a challenge. For each constitution in their story, they gain +1 to their attempt. Now, here's the deal. I can only get 3 runes. But I have 4 constitution in my story once I capture this gen. So that is going to give me +4 to my attempt. Folks, I think this dude might be in trouble. So I have completed everything in my story with the exception of fighting the Dark Lord. So let's pull this aside. Let's clear out this. Folks, the Eldritch Knight, tragic hero, has captured a gen. Please. Are you working on your character? You've got your backstory right here. Construct. No wonder. Here we go. What was the one called Save an Innocent? It was Return, Gates of the Abyss. So we're moving this over. We're moving this over. And note that these will be in play during this battle with him. So we could end up flipping a couple more of these cards or gaining some more information over here. So the final adversary has an 8 difficulty. I'm using 3 constitutions, the 2 regular and the special. I'm using 3 charisma, 2 regular and the special. I'm using the 3 basic runes, and I have an 8 difficulty. I don't need any excess because he has no excess tokens. I took them out early. But I have cards galore that can help me. I have a few experience points that can help me. And this won't matter This won't matter. And this is in-game scoring, so it is time to roll the final roll, possibly against the Dark Lord. You're going to see them before I do, and I'm pulling them out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Is that everything? That is the most successful roll I've ever done. 13 will take the Dark Lord and bury him. Folks, that is my story. And this could also be your story. So take a shot of that and work it up. Like and subscribe. But I want to see comments in the videos of characters that you have created in 5th edition. This would be so neat to see those stories. Until then, this is chapter 1. And what we'll do is move on to chapter 2. We'll create a whole brand new hero. We'll have new cards shuffled into the decks. And we will do it again until we get through the whole campaign. The adversary will change. And we'll see you then. This is the Wizard, Wizard of Mo Games. This is the Wizard's Table. This is Call to Adventure. I'm out.